There are parts of us we learn to hide. The part that is too angry, too ambitious, too independent, too emotional, too powerful. So we become good at editing ourselves. We become the version that is easier to love, easier to understand, easier to live with. But what if becoming whole was never about choosing which parts of yourself to keep? What if it meant having the courage to hold all of them? This is what makes Devi Parvati so fascinating. Not because she was Mahadev's wife, not because she was devoted, but because she was never only one thing. Devi Parvati is Uma, she is Gauri, she is Durga, she is Kali, she is daughter, ascetic, mother, lover, and a warrior, all at the same time. And if we reduce her story to her relationship with Mahadev, we miss something essential. Because Parvati's story isn't simply about finding someone to love. It is knowing what you're capable of becoming and having the courage to become it. When Parvati chooses tapas, she isn't simply trying to become worthy of Shiva. She's choosing her own path. And there is an important difference between transformation and self-rejection. We often think growth means becoming less emotional, less demanding, less outspoken, less ambitious. And we call that maturity, being less of ourselves. But there's another kind of transformation, one where you don't become smaller, you become more fully yourself. And Parvati embodies that beautifully. The same presence that can embody tenderness can become Durga. The same mother who nurtures can become a force that destroys what threatens her. She doesn't have to choose. And perhaps that is the part of her we struggle with the most. Because we like people to be predictable. The strong person shouldn't need help. The compassionate person shouldn't get angry. The spiritual person shouldn't lose their temper. The loving person shouldn't have boundaries. But Parvati seems to ask, why must one quality cancel another? Why can't devotion coexist with independence? Why can't love coexist without surrendering yourself fully? Why can't someone be both soft and formidable at the same time? Maybe wholeness isn't the absence of contradiction. Wholeness is the ability to hold a contradiction without abandoning either side. And this isn't only a story about a goddess. Most of us spend our lives creating different versions of ourselves for different rooms. One version at work, another in relationships, another with family, and completely another when we are alone. Until eventually we wonder, which one of these is actually me? Parvati offers a different possibility. You can be devoted without disappearing. You can love someone deeply without making them the center of your existence. You can nurture without becoming powerless. You can be fierce without becoming cruel. You can change without betraying who you are. And perhaps that is the deeper meaning of Shakti. Not power as domination, but the life force that refuses to remain contained. Parvati doesn't need to be reduced to one role, because she reminds us that we don't have to be reduced either. There are seasons when we are gentle, seasons when we fight, seasons when we give, and seasons when we walk away. Not every version needs to be permanent, but every version deserves to be understood. Because becoming yourself isn't always about discovering one fixed identity hidden somewhere inside you. Sometimes it is about becoming spacious enough to hold everything you are. The tenderness, the anger, the devotion, the ambition, the vulnerability, the strength. Perhaps the real transformation is not becoming one perfect version of yourself. It is no longer needing to exile the parts of yourself that don't fit neatly together. So the question isn't, which version of me is the real one? The real questions are, what if all of them are asking to be seen? What part of yourself have you been calling too much simply because someone else didn't know how to hold it? Where have you confused becoming better with becoming smaller? And if you stopped trying to choose between the different parts of yourself, who might you become? कुछ तो है मुझ में जो हर रूप में मेरा है. कुछ तो है मुझ में जो हर रूप में मेरा है. कभी शांति कभी ज्वाला, फिर भी सवेरा है. खुद को एक नाम में बांधूं तो अधूरी रह जाऊं. खुद को एक नाम में बांधूं तो अधूरी रह जाऊं. मैं पूरी तब हूं जब अपने हर रूप को अपनाऊं. Alright then, this is me, Bhavna, signing off, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, allow yourself to be more than just one thing.